As sentenced for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270.
That is the moment Derek Chauvin learned his sentence for the murder of George Floyd.
Today, Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill sentenced the ex-Minneapolis police officer to 22.5 years in prison. Chauvin will be eligible for release after serving 2/3 of that term, which is 15 years.
Tonight, we have reaction to his sentencing coming in from all corners. I want to show you a live look from Chopper 5 over Minneapolis, where a small group in the street calling for justice for all people who have died in police custody. Derek Chauvin's sentencing comes 2 months after a jury found him guilty of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter.
It was 13 months ago today. Chauvin held his knee on George Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes in an encounter that many say changed Minnesota forever. Tonight, our team of reporters will bring you in-depth looks at what we saw inside the courtroom this afternoon.
We will also have reaction from George Floyd's family, along with state and community leaders, and you'll hear expert analysis of what this sentence means.
Our Eric Chaloux starts us off with the biggest surprise of the day, words directly from Derek Chauvin himself.
Stood up in court and addressed George Floyd's family. Now, Judge Peter Cahill wrote in his sentencing order that the ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin treated George Floyd without respect and denied him the dignity owed to all human beings. The hearing lasted just over an hour at the Hennepin County Government Center before Judge Cahill handed down the 22.5-year sentence of Chauvin in Floyd's death. Now, Chauvin and others in the court followed COVID-19 protocols and kept their masks on for most of the hearing, so we never got to see Chauvin's entire face right there when the judge sentenced him to prison in Floyd's death from May of 2020. Now, take a listen to a few key moments from the hearing.
7 words: in your custody is in your care. And it's a real simple mantra. It's a real easy thing to remember. You're going to take custody of somebody, you have to provide care.
The impact that this case has had on this community is profound. This is a case that has changed the world to some degree.
At this time, due to some additional legal matters at hand, I'm not able to give a full formal statement at this time. But very briefly, though, I do want to give my condolences to the Floyd family. There's going to be some other information in the future that would be of interest, and I hope things will give you some peace of mind.
What the sentence is not based on is emotion or sympathy, but at the same time, I want to acknowledge the deep and tremendous pain that all the families are feeling, especially the Floyd family.
The judge explained why he went with a higher sentence, adding that Chauvin treated Floyd with particular cruelty and abused his power as a police officer. Now, Chauvin was escorted out of court by a Hennepin County Sheriff's deputy before being put back into the control of state corrections officials. Eric Chaloux, 5 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Eric. And before that sentence was handed down, prosecutors had asked Chauvin be sentenced for 30 years. Meantime, Chauvin's lawyers wanted probation.
Callan Gray has been speaking to former U.S. Attorney Erica McDonald about the impact of the sentence handed down to Derek Chauvin today.
Well, Erica McDonald is also a former district court judge who understands well the weight Judge Cahill was likely feeling today and the factors he had to consider. She was not surprised by the 22.5-year sentence from Judge Cahill.
He's been taking it all in. He's been living with this case. He's been, I'm sure, taking notes in his memory, writing things down that were important to him. And then you get down to the law. You look at what the law tells you. What does the sentencing guideline tell you is a presumptive range? And then you look at the law and say, is there any reason to vary from that, either upwards or downwards?
Now, in May, Judge Cahill found 4 factors supporting the state's argument for a higher sentence than what's typically applied for a second-degree unintentional murder charge. However, in his brief today, he shows he only accounted for 2 of those in the sentence, that Chauvin abused his position of trust or authority and treated Floyd with particular cruelty.
It's one thing to say that the factors were present, which is what the determination was a month ago, looking at the 4 and saying that they were present. But when it comes to sentencing, in order to impose an upward durational departure, you have to determine, based on case law as provided and as binding on district courts, whether it's a substantial and compelling reason. So not just that it was present, and so that was the difference that we saw. He found them present, but he found only 2 were substantial and compelling reasons for an upward departure, the other 2 not being that.
So how much of his sentence could Chauvin now spend behind bars? McDonald explained in Minnesota a defendant serves 2/3 of their time in prison, then the last third on conditional release, so long as there are no disciplinary violations during their incarceration. For Chauvin, 2/3 would be 15 years. Kevin?
Kellen Gray reporting. George Floyd's family and their legal team spoke after Chauvin was sentenced.
Our Eric Rasmussen live now at the Hennepin County Government Center with their reaction. Eric.
You know, George Floyd's family made it clear today they are not celebrating the sentence that Derek Chauvin got. In fact, some said it simply wasn't enough justice. Another brother went a step further and even called it a slap on the wrist. But really, from Floyd's family to Attorney General Keith Ellison to the Reverend Al Sharpton, they all said today was an important moment in a national movement, they said, in calling for more accountability.
We got more than we thought, only because we have been disappointed so many times before. 22 and a half years is longer than we've ever got, but shorter than what we should have gotten in the past.
I beg for justice for my brother, some type of accountability. The treatment that I thought that everybody should receive, it's just life, you know. You can't get that back.
We got justice, but not enough justice. You know, I remember standing here the first day of trial in this very same spot, and we were very optimistic and unsure of what was going to happen. After seeing that video, we should have been 100% sure that we would be at a guilty conviction with a maximum sentence.
The sentence that the court just imposed on Derek Chauvin, 270 months or 22 and a half years, is one of the longest a former police officer has ever received for an unlawful use of deadly force.
In all today, we heard from 3 of George Floyd's brothers, cousins, a nephew, including family members who flew out from Houston and New York. Again, while Derek Chauvin did not get the max sentence today, those family members said they would continue fighting for what they called maximum accountability. Live in Minneapolis, Eric Rasmussen, 5 Eyewitness News.
Eric, thank you. Going back inside the courtroom at today's sentencing, it brought Floyd's family face to face with Derek Chauvin for the first time since Chauvin was convicted in April.
Floyd's brother Philonise, who we just heard from there, and his 7-year-old daughter Gianna were among those who delivered victim impact statements. Kirsten Swanson has their messages.
Well, Floyd's family members didn't address Derek Chauvin directly in court. And one of the most powerful statements today came from someone who wasn't even in the courtroom, Floyd's daughter, Gianna.
Do you wish that he was still here with us?
Yeah, but he is.
Through his spirit?
Yes.
Prosecutors played the video message of the 7-year-old right away when sentencing started. Floyd's nephew and 2 of his brothers also addressed the court. They were all incredibly emotional, in tears at times, as they asked the court to impose the maximum sentence, saying their family has been given a life sentence to live without George after what happened to him on May 25th, 2020.
Well, when you knew that he posed no threat anymore, he was handcuffed, why you didn't at least get up? Why you stayed there?
Chauvin looked at each of the men as they spoke and continued to stare at the podium as his mother stood up to address the court. After telling Judge Cahill the impact the case has had on their family, she turned and spoke directly to her son.
Derek, my happiest moment is when I gave birth to you. And my second is when I was honored to pin your police badge on you. I promise you I will stay strong, as we talked about, and I want you to do the same for me.
Due to continued COVID restrictions, only a small number of family members from both sides were allowed inside the courtroom. And to give you an idea of what this looked like, according to the Pool reporters, Floyd's family and their attorneys sat on one side of those main doors in 8 seats. Chauvin's mother, along with 4 other family members, sat on the other side of those main doors. Brandy.
Kirsten, thank you. And people are gathering in Minneapolis. They're sharing their perspectives in response to Chauvin's sentencing.
Ryan Raish, live in downtown Minneapolis with their reaction. Ryan.
Yeah, guys, things are really starting to quiet down here in downtown Minneapolis. The march through the streets that were blocked off through downtown just got done a few moments ago, and it's really been a peaceful afternoon for people on both sides of this sentence. You have people who are good with the sentence and others who feel it just did not go far enough. I want to show you some video from earlier this afternoon. This was the scene outside the Hennepin County Government Center as the sentencing was going on. A crowd gathered around a loudspeaker to listen to the victim impact statements and ultimately the judge's decision. There was initially disappointment as people felt the sentence did not go far enough. There was no eruption of cheers or any big reaction similar to what we saw with the verdict.
I was looking for an outburst of saying, yay, he got more time, but you see that didn't happen.
It wasn't strong enough. We feel it was a slap on the wrist. It was something that was supposed to happen under our system of democracy. We got a guilty, we got some time.
I will say that crowd hung on every word that was spoken through the loudspeaker, the victim impact statements from George Floyd's family, Chauvin's mother, and then, of course, ultimately, the judge's sentence. Live in downtown Minneapolis tonight, Ryan Raish, 5 Eyewitness News.
And tonight, crowds are gathering in South Minneapolis at the location where George Floyd took his last breath.
Our Brett Hoffman joins us live there near 38th in Chicago, of course, also known as George Floyd Square, the epicenter of this all. Brett, what are they telling you?
Yeah, we have been here throughout the day, and as you mentioned, this is the epicenter of this entire case, and today was no different. We actually got to hear from a group of a few dozen people when that sentencing came down, and for the most part, I would say that they were happy with the sentence. Some people thought it should be even more than what was given, but at this hour, the crowd is sort of thinned out a little bit. You can see behind me at this memorial, there are still a few people taking pictures. They've been doing that all day. They want to pay their respects to George Floyd. I was able to talk to a woman who brought her 2 young girls here, and she says she's not even from here. She's on a trip from Florida, and she was here to visit the Mall of America, and she said, I would have been so upset at myself if I did not come here and visit George Floyd Square, especially on an important day like today. Take a listen to what I had to say to a couple different people about the sentencing and about this memorial behind me.
It's breathtaking. Like, it's so hard to digest everything once you really see it, like, you know, in the flesh. To just be here is just like, it's so emotional. I had to stop myself from crying like 2 or 3 times because it's just sad. It's so sad.
Justice serves itself. Now, if you ask me personally, I would say maybe a little bit more, but hey, it is what it is.
And it's been so great to talk to so many different people out here throughout the day, just getting their perspective on everything from George Floyd Square to the memorial, to what they'd like to see with this memorial behind me and the sentencing. So a lot of this conversation will not end today with this sentencing. It will only continue. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much. Brett Hoffman in South Minneapolis. Tonight, state and local leaders are sharing their thoughts on Derek Chauvin's sentencing.
Our chief political reporter Tom Hauser live now at the state capitol with a reaction from Governor Tim Walz as well as Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey.
Yeah, Brandy, both the governor and Mayor Frey say the verdict and sentencing of Derek Chauvin is a step toward police accountability for their actions. Now, speaking to reporters before the verdict came down, the governor said there is a measure of police being held accountable in the justice system, but he says additional state laws regarding police reform should be passed to give Black Minnesotans more assurances they won't be targeted by police with no accountability.
And there's no joy in this. There's a man dead, there's a family destroyed, several families destroyed, but that's the way the system works. So I think it highlights that this can work. I do think it shows that there are things that we can do together to ensure that we're never in this situation again. That's one of those situations that if we can avoid that violence, that's what we're looking for.
And less than an hour ago, the governor tweeted, "Today, Judge Cahill gave Derek Chauvin a historic sentence. This is a positive step toward justice, but our work is not done. We've known all along that accountability in the courtroom is not enough." Now, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey in many ways echoed what the governor said here in St. Paul. In a written statement, the mayor said, as today's sentence delivers an additional layer of legal accountability, the work underway to advance meaningful police reforms and structural change must and will continue in full in Minneapolis. Meanwhile, back here at the state capitol, both the governor and Republican Senate leader Paul Gazelka said today that progress is being made on police reform, on an agreement. In fact, the senator said that they are inches away from an agreement, but we've been hearing that for several days now. It is still likely to be the very last bill agreed to in the middle of next week, right up against that June 30th deadline. Live at the state capitol, Tom Hauser, 5 Eyewitness News.
Tom, thank you. And our coverage of Derek Chauvin's sentencing continues throughout this newscast and tonight at 9 on Eyewitness News on 45 and 10 on Nightcast. You can also find the latest updates online anytime at KSTP.com and with our real-time alerts on our free KSTP mobile app.